And the first order of business is we have a few thank yous to make for tonight. Billy Tomasi, who he had to run to town, he isn't here right now. He provided this facility for us at no cost. That was very kind. And Plus provided all of the food, and if you've noticed, it is absolutely delicious. They've gone back to the old Dickie Palooka's recipes. And so it was wonderful food, and we appreciate that he gave us this. We said we'd like to have our membership program in one of the coal camps. So last year we did ARMA, so this year we're in the little coal camp of Promenade, so we're excited about that. So we want to thank Billy for that. The wine and hors d'oeuvres table was manned by Renato Pinto, who is a member of Pittsburgh Area Young Professionals, and we appreciate that. And he was assisted by our board member, Linda Knoll. And serving drinks, dinner and drinks, was the PHS Key Club with their sponsor, Kristen Thomas, and they're all back there. And they did an amazing job. All of us older people were sweating trying to serve it. They were so fast that we couldn't keep up with them. We kept thinking, you're back already? So they did a wonderful job, and really, guys, we couldn't have done it without you. We really appreciate you coming out to help us with that. And they've been going around bringing more drinks and your cookies for dessert. And then planning for the dinner was coordinated by Buddy Garenz with the help of his wife, Patty, and Buddy is our social events coordinator, so we appreciate that he does all of this for us and all of this planning. And if you enjoyed the antipasta, be sure and thank Buddy because he made it all. And then one more thank you is David Wallace right here, who is videotaping the event, and he comes to all of our events, our programs and everything. And if you will follow him on YouTube under Easy Dave, you will see all of these programs. So anything you've missed, or if you want to go back and watch what happened tonight again, if you enjoyed the performance, he comes in all of our programs, and not just us, but he went to the Gay Burrito, so he does a lot of historic documentation, and we appreciate that. And he does all this as a volunteer, all at his own expense, so we appreciate, Dave, that you come and do all of this.
Tell them to find our stuff on Miners Hall Museum Facebook page.
Oh, I'm going to get to that, but okay. I'll mention that right now.
But you can find me there if you don't
But we
see
do, right. If you don't do YouTube, you can go to our Facebook page, Miners Hall Museum, and we always share a link of Dave's videos, so you can find them that way. Then I'd like to introduce our board. I know some of you come to our events and you see us running around in a red vest, but maybe you don't know who is what, so I'd like to introduce the board so that everyone can put a face with the name. And as I said, I'm Phyllis Bitner. I was a Lippischak. I grew up in Franklin, so that's my connection to mining and the museum. And this is Christy Nicoletti Parrish. I like to give maiden names because people she's our vice chair this year. And Catherine Richard is unable to be here. She's home ill, and she's our secretary. We're sad about that. And she was sad to have missed it too. She wanted to come and see all of you. Dr. Chris Childers down here on the end. Linda Rollo Roberts from Linda O'Neillio Knoll. Skip, and I've already introduced Christy as our vice chair. Skip Urich. And John Palmier on the end. And this is the hardest working board I have ever served with before. I mean, we call ourselves a working board, and we are indeed a working board. So, okay, so I'm going to keep everything as short as I can because I know you're all here to have a good time, and we want you to have a good time, and we have great entertainment coming up. But we want to give you some updates. We want to tell you some things we're proud that we've accomplished. So we hope that we're meeting your expectations of what you think that we have done. So as of today, we have 251 members from 21 states. So we think that's pretty impressive. And we appreciate all of you when you tell a friend about us and you're ambassadors for us and you bring someone into the fold and they become a member. We appreciate that. That helps spread the word of what we're doing in preserving this great history. So last year was a busy year, and if you remember, if you were at our membership meeting, we talked about our Dream Big project, and we're always dreaming big, all of us are. And the big announcement last year was about the Page 618 walking drag line that will be coming soon to Franklin, to Gennardi's Corner, which is 69 and 47 intersection, for those of you who are not been here forever and know that. Also, the fact about the drag line that is so important is it is one of only 4 on the whole North American continent, and it will be the only and largest walking drag line in the United States preserved for display, public display. So it's really a big deal. It's very, very important. So it's going to be great for our tourism, for all of our local businesses, all the other museums, tourist attractions. We're going to be bringing a lot of people here. We've already had people from both the East and West Coast that are coming when we move it. They want to be here. They want to see it. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And I just have to mention that that project is being funded by Kansas Tourism, the Patterson Family Foundation, the John U. Parolo Education Trust, and the Coleman Family Foundation. They are all involved in the move of that work. And the drag line came from the Wilkinson family, and we really appreciate that they donated that to us. And of course, they're pleased that we're going to be preserving that and having it open for public display. And that means that the Wilkinsons now will have 3 pieces of equipment at the north and south end of the coal mining fields. They'll be at Big Brutus. They have one at Big Brutus. They have one at Crawford County Historical Museum, and now there'll be one at the north end, which will be on our property in Franklin. Another special exhibit that we did this past year, we got a smaller drag line. It's an Inslee Model K12, and it was donated by Mission Clay. And that was just moved in the last 2 months. It was moved and reassembled, and the same company that's moving the big drag line moved it. So I say completed the project. We've completed the move. We haven't done any, whether it's preservation or restoration, but we're going to be working on that a little bit. And that project was made possible by Kevin Mitchelson, and we appreciate his work to I don't remember the exact story, but he was on a plane and just happened to be talking about a drag line, and the guy next to him, it was like a bizarre story. How did that happen? And we ended up with a drag line. Another project we completed last year was the restoration of the Miners' House, which came from right here in Frontenac. It was donated by Sacred Heart parishioners in 2012 and moved to Franklin, where it sits today. And many of the artifacts were donated by Ken Peak and gifts from other patrons also. And it's a beautiful representation of houses of the early 1900s. And it's open for special occasions and by appointment. So if you want to see the inside, you do need to make an appointment because we don't have staff out there all the time to show it. And we would like to thank Virgil Albertini and his late wife Dolores for their generous support for that project. They were instrumental in getting a lot of that completed. And then we'd like to thank our board members, Linda Knoll and Jerry Longshacks, a former board member who led this project and did all of the work on that. And it's an outstanding addition to our area we call Coal Camp on the grounds. I'm telling you, we had a busy 2023. Our new website is up and running. And we're going to continue to make more changes to that. We have to grow with the times. While we're out here preserving history and we love the past, we have to move into the future with some of the things that we do, such as all the online social media and that type of thing. So, for instance, our new website, you can go on there and sign up and pay for your membership and set it up as a recurring payment. and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Or if you want to make a donation of $10 a month, you can go on there, set it up as recurring. It does all of that for you. So, little things at a time, but we keep improving of the ways that we handle business like that. So if you want to receive your newsletters or notices about programs by email, just call the office and tell them, and you won't have to worry about getting it by snail mail. It'll come electronically to you. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook. As Dave suggested, we have all of our updates on there. We keep it very current, and the actual the move and the reassembly of the Inslee, that's already on there, so there's some great video of that drag line. And as soon as the pages move, actually when they start disassembling it, that will all be videoed, and we'll be sharing those videos, because it's all on private property, so everyone can't go there and actually watch it being done. So we know people want to see that. So if you follow us on Facebook, you can keep up with everything on there. So you can see how busy we've been. So once again, we thank all of you who supported us in all of those projects and everything. So we're getting there. I'm about done. So at this time, there's a couple of people that we need to recognize. We have Ken Collins, who is our state representative, and he's a member, and we appreciate that you support our mission and come to our functions and our programs and that. We appreciate anything that you do for the museum. That we really, all of our elected officials are very important to us in what we're doing, so we appreciate that. We have Dave Luby, who is the director of Explore Crawford County, which is our local CVB, and they are responsible for your entertainment tonight, and we appreciate that greatly. So, and then, even though this person is not in the spotlight, he is the backbone of everything we do, so just groan, Kevin. He keeps us on the straight and narrow, and he's available day and night. Kevin Mitchelson of Wheeler and Mitchelson Law Firm. They have been providing legal and personal service to us for over 20 years at no cost. Tornado in Franklin and have been involved ever since. And seriously, we could not do it without you. And he is joined by his wife Frances, who also played a role in opening the museum. We met before and had conversations about it, and so we appreciate your guidance and your advice in helping us with that too. So we hope that the good that both of you do comes back to you 100-fold. Thank you. Now I would like to formally introduce our entertainer and our special guest for this evening. She is a singer, composer, international best-selling author, and historian. And we know that you're going to enjoy this performance this evening, and we'd like to welcome Cece Otto. And we're going to have just a little bit of fun before she starts. Cece, would you pick a number? Wait, let me get my list here.
Picking a number. Picking a number.
Pick a number. No, wait. Oh my gosh.
Good evening, everybody. It's so great to be here and meet all of you.
All right, who has my list? Here it is.
Okay.
Pick a number between 1 and 94.
42.
Okay, 42 is Marcia Langman.
Oh.
Are they here?
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah?
here.
Okay.
Okay. Should I go ahead and pick a number now?
Okay.
I swear, I can sing, everybody, and talk.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay,
another
pick
number?
Another number.
76.
6, Sharon Starr. I want to see her.
Should I pick another one?
Pick another.
Okay.
She's
I mean, no offense to Sharon, but
She's going to be sorry she missed that.
I know. 82.
Lon Sykes.
All right.
Okay, one more number.
One more. Okay. 7.
Calvin Beard. I know he's here.
All right.
Right over here in the middle. Yeah, okay, Jake.
Excellent.
Okay, and thank you. Well, I'll turn this over right now to Cece.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, everybody. Hi. So this is officially my debut in Kansas with you all. So I'm really excited to be here. We're going to hear some songs that you're probably going to know the words to. Singing along is completely welcome. Let's let Frontenac wonder what's going on, is what I'm saying. So this first song that's coming up, it was very scandalous for 1905. But it basically made a comeback in the 1950s. It's just been part of our Otto culture, because of course I came via the Jefferson Highway. That's how I got here. And I would love to do this song, so think back to 1905 and all of those automobiles automobiling as they go by. This is In My Merry Oldsmobile. Young Johnny Steele has an Oldsmobile. He loves a dear little girl. She is the queen of his gas machine. She has his heart in a whirl. Now when they go for a spin, you know she tries to learn the auto, so he lets her steer while he gets her here and whispers soft and low, come away with me, Lucille, in my merry Oldsmobile. Down the road a life will fly, automobile and I, to the church will swiftly steal, then our wedding bells will peal. You can go as far as you like with me in my merry Oldsmobile. And I sing all those verses. I do. Thank you. They love to spark in the dark old park as they go flying along. She says she knows how the motor goes. The sparker's awfully strong. Each day they'll spoon to the engine's tune. Their honeymoon will happen soon. He'll win Lucille with his Oldsmobile, and then he'll fondly croon, come away with me, Lucille, in my merry Oldsmobile. Down the road a life will fly, automobile and I, to the church will swiftly steal, then our wedding bells will peal. You can go as far as you like with me in my merry Oldsmobile. Come away. Yes, GT, I see that, yeah. In my merry Oldsmobile, down the road a life will fly, automobile and I, to the church will swiftly steal, then our wedding bells will peal. You can go as far as you like with me in my merry Oldsmobile. I'm sorry, but no, JT and I have been talking on the phone off and on. Once I knew I was coming down here, and it was like kindred spirits of like, just right there between singing and everything else. So it was fun doing sound check with him earlier. So yes, what I love doing is I love bringing these songs back to life, and I love sharing all the cool facts and stories behind them. I love singing all those verses you don't get to hear because the choruses survive, but the lyrics in those verses share some really interesting insights in one way or another. This next song became one of my all-time requested songs. It was one that I sang on a stage in New York when I was debuting and doing my Lincoln Highway journey across the country when it turned 100 in 2013. It's kind of one of those songs that everybody loves too, because I think we can all identify with her in the way that she doesn't always win. She tries and she tries, but she is the one, the only secondhand rose. Father has a business, strictly second-hand. Everything from toothpicks to a baby grand. Stuff in our apartment came from Father's store. Even things I'm wearing, someone wore before. It's no wonder that I feel abused. I never had a thing that ain't been used. Each one in the family kicks the whole day long. Everyone's disgusted. Everything is wrong. Second-handed doggy, second-handed cat, both are good. Second-handed welcome, second-handed mat. I think Father's head is made of wood. He brings home lots of things that ain't no good. I'm wearing second-hand hats, second-hand clothes. That's why they call me second-hand Rose. Even a piano in the parlor, Father bought for 10 cents on the dollar. Second-hand pearls, I'm wearing second-hand curls. I never get a single thing that's new. Even Jake the plumber, he's the man I adore, had the nerve to tell me he's been married before. Everyone knows that I'm just second-hand Rose from 2nd Avenue. I'm wearing second-hand shoes, second-hand hose. All the girls hand me their second-hand bows. Even my pajamas, when I don them, have somebody else's initials on them. Second-hand rings, I'm sick of second-hand things. I never get what other girlies do. Once while strolling through the Ritz, a girl got my goat. She nudged her friend and said, "Oh, look, there's my old fur coat." Everyone knows that I'm just second-hand Rose from 2nd Avenue. Thank you. I mean, it's a good song, and all of those extra words are just as fun as the ones you probably do, right? So normally, I get that it's May 1st, but since we just left April and this next song mentions May, I think it's still kind of in play. So that's why I wanted to program it, because it's a spring concert. This song came out in 1921. Al Jolson made it popular. It's what you're going to hear when you hear the piano background. It's actually a piano roll transcribed, because again, you would hear these kinds of different embellishments and instrumentations, and this is being brought back to life through, yay, digital technology actually comes in handy for this. This is April Showers. Life is not a highway strewn with flowers, hills. You soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song whenever April showers come along. I have learned to smile when skies are gloomy. Smile as though my heart's about to break. When I know that trouble's coming to me, here's the happy attitude I take. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know, it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song whenever April showers come along. I totally got so in the zone, I didn't realize I forgot to pull my parasol out for April showers. So here's your photo opportunity. It's like bringing a puppy on stage. If I had a puppy and a parasol right now, everybody would be like, oh! They just love it. But I mean, obviously the rain falls through a parasol like this, but it's perfect for spring. So there you go. So I was hoping to do a little Jefferson Highway history with you all now. Is that all right? So I went down to the Jefferson Highway held their annual conference in Louisiana last week. And I was down there singing, and I've been working my way up along the route. And this song I actually presented to them. It's got some interesting kind of factoids about it. So let's go back to the 1910s when people argued via newspaper about very important topics, like where the West began. Where the West began. It was an important topic prior to World War I. And this Denver Post journalist by the name of Arthur Chapman writes a poem and publishes it on the front page of the Denver Post. It becomes this recited poem all over, to the point, and this happens a lot, where sometimes you have an instrumental piece where somebody wants lyrics, sometimes a poem needs to be set to music, and this woman named Estelle Fileo, who lived along the Lincoln Highway, set it to music. And it became this popular song prior to World War I. Interestingly enough, this song appears in Jefferson Highway archives online, as they were doing various caravans to bring awareness to the Jefferson Highway. This woman by the name of Mrs. W.A. Nabors, N-A-B-O-R-S, was driving from Mansfield, Louisiana, all the way up to Winnipeg. And when they got to Winnipeg, she writes that they quoted this song at the end because there were a lot of friendships and a lot of other things that had happened on that caravan, and I thought it was such an interesting moment that song, they sang Auld Lang Syne to say goodbye to each other and then mentioned this poem, which I thought was really interesting. So this is Out Where the West Begins. Fun fact, I sing trifle twice because again it's West, and so there's things that are trifle, bluer or whiter, that kind of thing. So here's a little piece of Jefferson Highway history for you. Out where the smile dwells a little longer, that's where the West begins. Out where the sun shines a little brighter, where snows that fall are a trifle whiter, friendship's a little truer, that's where the West begins. Oh, where a fresher breeze is blowing, oh, where there's laughter and streamlets flowing, where there's more of reaping and less of sowing, that's where the West begins. Oh, where the work still is in the making, where fewer hearts in despair are aching, that's where the West begins. There's more of singing and less of sighing, there's more of giving and less of buying, and the man makes friends without half trying, out where the West begins. It's a quirky little song, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of like if a revival met a saloon with that background music a little bit, isn't it? But when you think of 1915, so talk amongst yourselves in the coming days where the West may have begun, because it was up for great debate. This next song, you'll all know when you hear the chorus. This song was a #1 hit 100 years ago this summer. I know, right? I mean, we don't really have Billboard or anything to track back then, but it's a really beautiful song, and it's one of those, again, that when I saw the verses, I'm like, why aren't people doing more of the verses of this one? It is the one, the only, It Had to Be You. Just as you say, why must I just give you your way? Why do I sigh? Why don't I try to forget? It must have been that something love's conveyed kept on saying I had to wait. I saw them all, just couldn't fall to be met. It had to be you. Still, it had to be you, wonderful you. It's interesting to hear those older songs with those original tempos a little bit, isn't it?
Yes.
It's something that, of course, songs grow and change over time, but that's kind of how it would have been played in 1924. That's kind of the deal with this one. So you all sounded great, by the way. And no, for real, you did. It was really, really nice. This next song, I'm not going to tell you the title. It's time for the name that tune. Because as you can imagine, with Tin Pan Alley and the Great American Songbook, in order to sell sheet music, they made the titles very interesting and very long. And or, made them quite, I don't know, they told their own story depending on the song. This one is kind of a shout out in a way for the suffrage movement and for the Amazon Army, because I do a suffrage program as well. This one's from 1916. And again, you're going to hear references to that Great War at that point. You're going to hear this kind of double entendre that might be there. But again, listen for the title, and when we're done, I want to hear what you think the title might be. No man is greater than his mother. No man is half so good. No man is better than the wife he loves. Her love will guide him, whate'er betide him. She's good enough to love you and adore you. She's good enough to bear your troubles for you. And if your tears were falling today, nobody else would kiss them away. She's good enough to warm your heart with kisses when you are lonesome and blue. She's good enough to be your baby's mother, and she's good enough to go with you. Man plunged the world in war and sadness. She must protest in vain. Let's hope and pray someday we'll hear her say, stop all your madness, I bring you gladness. She's good enough to love you and adore you. She's good enough to bear your troubles for you. And if your tears were falling today, nobody else would kiss them away. She's good enough to warm your heart with kisses when you are lonesome and blue. She's good enough to be your baby's mother, and she's good enough to go with you. Okay, so what do we think the title of that was? Well, that's one part, yes.
She's good enough for you.
She's good enough to be your baby's mother, which, by the way, that's both sides of the coin. I mean, if you're raising children to be good members of society, you could probably cast a ballot, right? She's good enough to be your baby's mother, and she's good enough to vote with you. That's the entire title of that song. So when I say they went all out at that point, they did. There's another great title that I don't have the sheet music for it. I just saw it on the back of a cover once. It was Take Your Wife to the Movies If She Won't Make Love at Home. That was literally the title. And I was like, I would love to see the original sheet music of this. I probably can't sing it, but yeah. But, there's that whole thing of we think of the people who came before us being kind of these pious people. Oh, no. Oh, no. They were just as goofy and weird as us now. Oh, man. So, think, I was thinking, since we're kind of talking about World War I, about doing this hit, which came from World War I, and it was one that I think all of you probably know, but it's a peacetime song. It was actually written in 1919, but became popular, I think, throughout the wars of the last 20th century. But it's such a fun one that, again, I know you're probably going to know the words to it. It's How You Gonna Keep Them Down on the Farm. There it is. Okay. For a second, I was like, where's the piano? I just love the words of this one, and I don't get to do it very often. Reuben, I've been thinking, said his wifey dear. Now that all is peaceful and calm, the boys will soon be back on the farm. Mr. Reuben started winking and slowly rubbed his chin. He pulled his chair up close to Mother and he asked her with a grin, how you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from home? That's the mystery. They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can partly blue a cow? How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? Reuben, you're mistaken, said his wifey dear. Once a farmer, always a jay, and farmers always stick to the hay. Mother Reuben, I'm not faking, though you may think it's strange when wine and women play the mischief with a boy who's loose with change. How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from home? That's the mystery. Imagine Reuben when he meets his pa. He'll kiss his cheek and holler, ooh la la. How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? How y'all doing? Good? Should keep going? I got plenty of songs. I was thinking about doing one, so you've heard different smatterings. That's what's fun about this, because normally I'm doing women's suffrage, I'm doing prohibition. I don't know why I'm gesturing like this. I do Lincoln Highway, Jefferson Highway. There's some people, when I was at the Jefferson Highway conference, they were like, you need to drive the Jefferson and do some singing travelogue thing like you did with the Lincoln Highway. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it. The 250th and the Great Depression are on deck. But this next one is kind of a prohibition tune, no surprise, and it defined the 20s. So James Johnson wrote the piano for this song and basically pioneered the stride piano movement. Cecil Mack wrote the lyrics to this that you rarely hear these days. And his obituary noted him right up there with Stephen Foster in regards to how popular his lyrics were at the time when he passed. So most of the time when people hear this song, they know approximately 2 words to it, because you might have heard Bugs Bunny singing in a cartoon or something like that. But there's more to it, actually. You'll hear a brief piano solo. When I was recording this, I was still living in Oregon at the time before I moved back to Minnesota to be along the Jefferson Highway just a few months ago. And the person who played that piano, his name is George Mitchell. Have any of you ever heard of him? Have any of you ever heard of Diana Ross? He is the main piano player for her and has been for over 40 years. So I was really honored and privileged to be able to hear that, but I like to give credit where credit is due, and you'll get to hear an amazing piano solo from him in the middle of this. This is the Charleston. Oh, I should say, if you feel like doing a little dance at your chair or something, I mean, we're already having fun. Just keep it going. I see some of you. Get up, get ready to dance. Carolina, Carolina, at last they got you on the map. With a new tune, funny blue tune, with a peculiar step. You may not be able to buck or ring, foxtrot, two-step, or even sing. If you ain't got religion in your feet, you can do this prance and do it neat. Charleston, Charleston, made in Carolina. Some dance, some prance. I'll say there's nothing finer than the Charleston, Charleston. Lord, how you can shuffle. Every step you do leads to something new. Man, I'm telling you, it's a lapazoo buck dance, wing dance. Will be a back number, but the Charleston, the new Charleston, that dance is surely a comer. Sometime you'll dance at one time. The dance called the Charleston, made in South Carolina. Every step you do leads to something new. Man, I'm telling you, it's a lapazoo buck dance, wing dance. Will be a back number, but the Charleston, the new Charleston, that dance is surely a comer. Sometime you'll dance at one time. The dance called the Charleston, made in South Carolina. So how many of you knew the words other than Charleston, Charleston, dot, 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 Charleston? Because that's kind of how I knew the song. But it's a lapazoo is kind of like, it's a mad time, it's a wacky time, it's kind of fun. That's what 1920s slang brings, interesting gems. Some of them have survived to this day. Lapazoo did not. No surprise. So we've heard kind of from all the different programs. I think, what do you think? Time for one more, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I want to, well, you know, you've all been sitting here patiently. You probably saw on the way in, there were postcards. I would love it, because I'll be driving up and down the Jefferson Highway for the foreseeable future. Hopefully I'll be able to come back again at some point. I'm just so honored and so touched that I could be a part of this event, really, truly. So thank you. So I would love it if you would stay in touch with those postcards. If you feel like having any music and or I do books and programs, because some people have CD players, some don't. So I create little booklets with all the history of some of these songs and program notes and everything. But I really just appreciate all of you being here and singing along with me and everything else. This next song that I'd like to end with comes from 1926. It is a last-minute addition to the musical called Betsy, which you probably have not maybe heard of unless you're a Rodgers and Hart fan versus a Rodgers and Hammerstein fan. The night that this opened, Belle Baker was singing this very song. Instant hit. Instant hit. Everybody starts clapping and demanding encore after encore of this song. She sang it 24 times that night, to the point where she forgot the words, which I don't blame her. After that point, I'd be blah, 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 after a certain point. So Irving Berlin in the front row gets up and finishes the song. Because and when we think about iconic songs like the one that you'll hear and hopefully sing along with me on this, because it's the perfect song to end this program on this spring day. It's really kind of an interesting testament, and we think in our memory, because we're born with these songs in our brains and in our DNA. But there was a time when Belle Baker was standing on stage, barely remembering the words of this song after singing it 24 times. But it was that iconic that night. And that's what makes this so important. I am not going to introduce this one because the second you probably hear the piano track, you're going to know. This one will have an extra chorus at the end. You're welcome to sing or not sing, but I'm going to sing through the whole thing because, again, this is what would have happened in the 20s. So here we go. And yeah, this one moved a little bit for 1926. I was blue, just as blue as I could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then good luck came knocking at my door. The skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Another verse, everybody. I should care if the wind blows east or west. I should fret if the worst looks like the best. I should mind if they say it can't be true. I should smile, that's exactly what I do. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, gone, gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Should we keep going, or how you feel? I mean, I know you've had a lot of wine, but I just, I thought it made sense to just sort of finish this out, but I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that, isn't it interesting to think that blue sky is literally 24 times? Bloopity blue. Yes. But I hope that you'll all stay in touch with me in one way or another. I hope to be back here soon. And again, if you want to come up and say hello or share a story with me about some music history, or give me some random hats like this lovely person did, I will take it, and I'll take it back to Minnesota. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. We really loved it all. And I love seeing everyone sing along.
Yes.
So, you know, we're vocal country around here. So
Yeah.
but I can remember my mother singing songs like that. So we can envision all of our ancestors, although this was vocal country, that was the era they grew up in. And they,
Yeah.
you know, they'd walk around the kitchen singing April Showers, The Blue Sky, everything. So
Well-
they're very popular songs.
Yeah. Can I share an accordion story since there's some at the
All
museum?
right, we're accordion people.
Well, when I was trying to learn this music, right, I was learning this music, it's a different style. It's not fully classical kind of operatic singing, but it's not like what contemporary kind of pop and jazz is today. And I was really having a hard time with it, and my husband's aunt saw that I was going to do Beautiful Ohio for my Lincoln Highway Journey, another great classic tune. And she said, oh, my father used to play that on the accordion and sing it to my mother. And that moment, that memory, that was how I was able to connect this and be able to do what I'm doing now 11 years later and sing it in a way that you all appreciate. So thank you for indulging me in telling that little story.
Something for you, Cece. Here. We appreciate. We're so happy that Roger Bell, who is the president of the Jefferson Highway Association, contacted me and mentioned that Cece was going to be down in Louisiana, and that if we happen to have an opportunity, we should contact her. And how was this for perfect? A week later, here we were having our membership dinner. So we're grateful that Roger Bell put us in touch with you, and we loved it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored again to be here.
And for all of our members, as I said about following us on Facebook, because stay tuned, because the Jefferson Highway National Association and Miners Home Museum will be having an announcement made in the very near future. So we can't announce that yet, but keep watching. You'll be hearing some big news pretty soon for Southeast Kansas on that. So our last thing of the evening is we're calling out our unveiling. We've talked to you about all the things we did last year and all of our successes. So if you gentlemen will just hang on a few minutes, I want to say a few things, and then we're going to have an unveiling. So you know that everything we do begins with all of the hard work of our trustees, our staff, and our volunteers. And as I said, we are a working board, and we hope that you're inspired by the work that we do to honor all of our ancestors and all of the people who settled here in Southeast Kansas to make it the great place it is to live. Last year, we spoke to you about our dream to add on to our building. We knew when we opened our doors that we had already outgrown our space. So many of you contributed artifacts that you wanted to proudly display of your family, and we have absolutely run out of room. We displayed all that we can, and we have to add on to the building. We applied for a state grant last year, which we told you about, and unfortunately we didn't make it through the final round, but that did not deter us. We know we have to accomplish this. So we've discussed it over 10 years, and we want you as our members to be the first to see what our vision is and our plan. But we want to assure you that we are not going to undertake this until we are certain that we can carry out the plan. And sustain it. So that means specifically that we intend to grow our endowment fund with Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas so that we'll have adequate funds. We know we won't all be here forever, but we want this museum to be here as long as possible for the future to see. So we'd like to thank a few people who have already shared our vision with us. Virgil Albertini and his late wife Dolores have committed funds designated for the building addition, and we want to thank him for this generous donation and their steadfast commitment to the museum's future goals. Another family is Frank and Frances Ailes. They also shared our vision, and funds from their estate are already secured at Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas for the building addition. The Ailes family had a great love for the museum, and they supported us in many ways. If you've walked through the museum, you can see on the glass cases the Ailes name, and on a couple of the murals outside. So they have supported us in a lot of ways, and we appreciate that very much. They were an early mining family, and the parents wanted to provide a better life for their children. So we appreciate that. And we'd like to thank Dane and Danny Arkabar Construction, who worked with us to come up with a plan that was workable and doable, and they drew these conceptual plans for us. So while this is our vision, there will be some changes to it along the way. This is not the final version. We wanted you to be the first to see what we intend to do in the future. And so we are tonight officially announcing that these are our future plans, and you as members are the first to see it. And we want to show you our vision for the future, and we hope that you'll share in our excitement. So if you gentlemen will unveil that. So this is our original building, and we'll be adding on to the west end, and the entrance will then be on the north side. This will be a 3-level building. The basement will be what we think will be one of the biggest tourist attractions for the area. We plan to create a replica mine. So that is a big deal. So when you talk about, the miners were in this height, crawling on their knees, the students, when they come for their tours, they can get in that space and go, oh my gosh, this is how my dad worked on his knees all day. So it's going to be very visual. It's not going to be a 3D animated, modern, whatever. It's going to be the real thing. We're going to recreate a mine down there, and we'll have an education area. The main floor will be our new exhibit area, and then the upstairs will be an art gallery. We have so many beautiful art pieces that have been created, so the upstairs will be that. And then our building where we are now will become our event center. So we can hold our events in there, and our meetings and anything like that. So we're very excited about it, and we've put a lot of thought into it. Each board member has an area of the building. We've taken what's important to us, and we're all working on all of the tiny details for it. So it's going to be a great addition to Southeast Kansas, and we think that replica mine is going to be a big tourist draw. We think that there'll be people coming from a long way to see that. So we're very excited about it, and we hope you'll be as excited as we are too. So that is basically it. Like I say, we'll have that up here. The board members will be here if you want to come up and look at it and ask any questions or whatever. But we are happy that you all came and shared this evening with us. We hope you enjoyed the entertainment. We know you did, by everyone singing along. Cece, they all loved it. And so we will continue to do everything that's required to earn your trust, because we appreciate you all being members and supporting us. So we're dedicated to preserving the coal mining history of Southeast Kansas. So we want to wish you all safe travels home, and we look forward to seeing you at the museum and our other events. And at this time, Chris will offer a traveler's prayer for you.
God, as the sun sets on this blue skies that brought us here this evening, and our time together comes to a close, please guide us home safely and securely, and bring us back here together next year to celebrate our wonderful work once again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hi, Barbara. How you doing? Good. This is nice. Very nice.